Welcome, Sunday, Lambic. Bloody late starting today, it's 10 to 2, so it's going to be 2 o'clock when I start mashing in. I'm going to do a turbid mash, so I'm going to start off at 55 for half an hour. Give it lots and lots of stirring. Right, better get on with it, otherwise it will be 4 o'clock. Well, that's about as thick a mash as I think I've had. It says 8k grist bill in here, and because I'm going to do a turbid mash, I'm going to be adding more in there. Right, now the first stage of the turbid mash is to bring this to 55. It's gone over a bit. Bring it up and then draw off about 1.5 litres from this volume, which is about 5% of the final volume that we're going to want. So I'll do that off camera because I've only got 2 hands. This milky goodness is then boiled. Well, it's not, it's taken up to 90 degrees. Which I will do now. Temperature probe, good, right. And then that we bring up to 65 or 66, which is, this is the kind of, I think it's called sacrification, something like that anyway. Okay, so by infusion and now by Herms, we are taking this up to 66, where it will rest for 45 minutes, so about 3:15, then take off about 7.5 litres, and then do a sparge at 80 degrees. And we're going to take that right up to about 43 litres, and then gradually boil it all down to about 30. That's the idea, 31 maybe, because I'm not sure about me measuring tube. We shall see. So now we let this go. We just let it go on the Herms until it brings itself up to 66, and I'm going to go and have a coffee. While we're waiting for our mash, our turbid mash, I'm now emptying this. This has been full now for 2 days, and you'll see where the sealing takes place. This is where some of the staves would have been leaking, and yummy, and so the water inside kind of oozes through, and then as it expands creates the seal, because none of these are glued or anything. These are just put together. They're just matched up together, and then it's like a wooden boat. Wooden boats aren't glued or anything. They're purely the swelling of the wood that keeps them watertight. Quite interestingly, this was these barrels, these two, I've got free, 2 from one supplier, 1 from another. This was lightly toasted. Look at the colour of that coming out of there. That is lightly toasted, and some charred charcoal. Charcoal. Anyway, so I'm emptying this now, and then I'm going to move this Koelschip over there out of the way and fill this again with boiling water. Probably tonight, I should think. After I've done the boil, I'll clean that out and then pump some boiling water into this and leave it for another couple of days. The lambic upstairs, which I started a month ago, is still fermenting. It's great. Yes, Wouldn't it be a shit if Andrew Lynch is right and it's just something like a US 05? It won't be. It's more likely to be a YE 1056 or something, or a 0001 Californian. Doesn't matter, it's fermenting, so I don't care. It's a sort of experimental concern that isn't really sort of like high on my list. At least it's fermenting. Good. We've got another 45 odd minutes of that. Oh well, not an awful lot else to do on a Sunday afternoon, is there, boys and girls? I think those barrels are going to need a couple of rinses. But, you know, it's not to be expected. Charred over a fire, so there is charcoal inside. But I'm not sure I want to impart that much charcoal taste on my lambics. A winter's day or Sheffield Canal. Now, given that God, it looks rank, doesn't it? That is only water with charcoal, so it's probably all right. To go in canal. Crikey. Right, good. Now, finish scrubbing that Koelschip out. I'm going to put it over there on, actually, let's shut door. Keep winter out. So give that a bit of a clean, plonk it on there so it's sort of like slightly downhill. Put the barrel back on there, fill it up with boiling water later. This workmate, then I'll turn around and we'll put this Koelschip on, ready for after the boil. It's still going to be about, I think, a 3-hour boil. How's the temperature holding on mash? 66, perfect. So we've got another little while of that, then up it to, I can't remember, go and have a look, 76 I think. I'm going to sparge at 90. Crikey. This is the, let's just turn that off for a second. This is the sort of middle part now, where we draw off about 25% of what will be the final amount that we require. So in this case it's 7.5 litres. This is my Star San bucket. My Star San is in what will be the fermenter tomorrow. So 7.5 litres, just gently drawing it off at 66, and then we raise it to 76 by chucking some more hot water in. So that goes to 76, then we start a lauter going around, and then sparge at 90. So after this is taken off, I will put Shirley back on. Valentine, I know it's a bit cheap, but I like Shirley Valentine. As the Greek waiter said, maybe I'd like to make fuck with you. 7.5 litres. Now this is the reverse of what you would normally see. This is, I've topped this up using hot liquor from the HLT, and now I'm recircling, so this is kind of like a vol-off. So it's coming out of here, through the bottom part of the Valentine, into pump, out at pump, through the Hermes coil, because we need now to knock this up. It's dropped a degree. We need to knock this up to 75 degrees and then really start the final part, which is once we get to 75 degrees we give it a short rest, and then we send it through to the copper, and then we sparge at 90 degrees. So we've gone from 45 degrees to 55 to 65, 75 now, and then 90 to sparge, and we'll have about 44, 45 maybe. Sorry Delilah, darling, zooming in on your tits again. About 45 degrees 45 degrees of separation, 45 litres. So this will now start to creep up as it goes through the herms. I'm going to give it another stir. This has been good, hasn't it, boys and girls? That over there is ready now to take the barrel back again, and I've cleaned out the Koelschip, and I've put it at a slight jaunty angle so that everything goes towards that corner. We're ready. We're up to 75. I'm going to give it a little rest at 75. Turn that off. And when this is up to 90, I'll start the sparge. So what we've got at the moment is just ready to recirc, but won't be needed now. So I can turn that off on the bottom one. If I turn this one on, it will ever so gradually start to sparge through, but I don't want to do that just yet. Give it a couple of minutes until the HLT is up to temp. Starting a very, very slow sparge. This is going to take a long time. I think probably about 45 minutes. I won't bore you with those 45 minutes. What I am going to do though is just flush out the herms. Wasn't that easy? It's still one of the most interesting parts of any of my videos. I'm now going to get my little sparge ball on, and when that's stopped dripping, it means that the water has reached, or the watt in there has reached the same level as here. Therefore I can then start the sparge. Crikey, that's warm. Of course it's warm. It's 74.6 degrees. 74.6 degrees, boys and girls. Whew, I mean, mashing in at 74. Well, we mashed in at 66. Then we took that off down there. Yeah, I'm not sure that first bit, that 1.5 litres that we took off, I'm not sure what we do with that. I think I'm just going to chuck it in the boiler. In fact, it has to go in there, really, otherwise it's not really sterile. Oh, all these decisions, boys and girls. Back when we're ready to start sparging properly at 90 degrees. 90! That's as fast as the sparge goes. And sparging with nearly boiling water. Oh, we're all steamy up again. Let's see if I can. I don't know if you can see, just reduce that to a dribble. shouldn't be far off. The underback kicking in. It's all turned on. I think everything's connected all right down here. Yeah, pump's open. Comes up into the top. Good. Oh, any second now, boys and girls. Any second. Sorry, this is terribly boring. The anticipation. There we go. And we have got how good is that? Exciting! Our second lambic. Now, need to work out what we're going to do with regard to the hops. Back over in my little worky area, it's nice and warm up here. And so this is where I keep my magic bag. Now these are some Citra and Simcoe hops, as it says here, from Callum, who sent them over. That he vacuum sealed, I think he said a couple of years ago. Now I'm trying to age these, but you know what? Oh, they are still sticky as hell and the most fragrant. Callum, don't ever get rid of that vacuum sealer. In fact, please leave a note underneath of what make it is, because I want the one I've got's bloody rubbish in comparison. I think these are going to take about another year. These are some really old Fuggles, which I think I mentioned last time. Came from some, I don't know, there's a label in there somewhere anyway. There we are, let's get the label. And this friend of mine said, oh, we was going to make some porter and or stout, and got a kit. So this is probably 5 or 6 years old, I reckon, maybe more. Big Ed's Craft Ale kits, if anyone knows who that is, it's probably someone from Sheffield. Thatcher's London Stout. So we've got some Fuggles in here, and they do still smell a bit, as I mentioned in the last in the first lambic. But I think I'm going to be using these in the boil, probably only about 7 grams. It's a difficult one. I've had a little look on interweb to see if I could find knackered old hops or some hops suitable for lambic. There is actually a term, I can't remember what that term is, because, well, you know, I got a brain like a thing, whatever thing. So yeah, we're gonna be using those. But Callum, seriously, that vacuum sealer of yours is the business. And I'm not going to be using the big hop spider, there's no point. I'm just going to stick that there, and because we've got quite a high level coming in, 40, 45, something like that, just perched on the edge there, we'll be fine. Now that's been, I don't know, quite a while. We'll wait till this is all finished and sparged, and we're ready to start the boil, and then we'll be back then. That's perfect timing, wasn't it? The aerial view. Slow that down a bit now. Alright, I know I said I was going to wait until we're ready to start the boil, but I stood up there and it looked so nice, I thought I'd share it with you. I'm pushing my current brewing equipment to its limit. Oh, God, and how? I have added some anti-foam. Monkey spunk. Because we're right near the edge here. So, BREW. We're going to bring it up to a boil. That was actually an 1.5 hour sparge, by the way. And I've just done this just to drain the last tiny little drips away. Very impressed with this. Right. There's not really a huge amount now that is going to be of any great interest, I think, because, you know, until it's time to transfer it to the Koelschip. Spoon's bent. Oh well. That'll be the heat. Long old day. We didn't start until quite late, but yeah. So I think the next thrilling instalment will be after about a 3, maybe longer, maybe 4 hour boil to bring that down to here. All right, so that's a lot, and the fan's on to blow it all onto the shotter, and then we transfer it into the Koelschip. Ha ha ha! Better start doing a clean up now, hadn't I? Probably about 5 minutes off coming up to boil, and I've chickened out. I've drawn about 3.5 litres off. I don't really want to run the risk of a boil over, even with the anti-foaming in there. I'm just going to wait and see. But you know, it's 6 o'clock now. I think this is going to be about a midnight finish. So it is definitely a January, February beer. Oh, 89.3. So we've probably got, yeah, 10 minutes. There's only 4 kilowatt in here, so it is going to struggle a little bit. It will get there, but I'm going to wait for it to, I'm going to drop it down to somewhere around 40 litres before chucking that in, and then carry on the boil going. What a long day this has turned out to be. But it was good fun with the, you know, the turdish shit of a mash. That was yeah, it's probably coming up for one of the most complex mashes I think I've done. I know people talk about decoction mashes and all that, and then some people say that's all nonsense, but I don't know if it was nonsense. I don't know why people would still be doing it, but anyway. So the Turbid Mash has resulted in me squeezing every little last, and I don't always think that's a very good idea, but you know, they said, my friend, who I can't mention, in Maine said, try it, you won't regret it. Try and get everything out of there that you can. There's all sorts of other enzymes and stuff which I think you flush out with doing the 90-degree sparge. So, right, well, it was 8 kilo of grist in there. Right, back when I flooded the place, I guess. We had a nice rolling boil, boys and girls. A lovely rolling boil. I'm glad I took that lot out because I'd have been a bit iffy. So I'm going to let that drop. I'm going to let probably down to 40-ish. Can you see my finger? It's there. Sorry, not a very good filmmaker at the moment. Let it drop to about 40, then chuck this lot in. Let it keep boiling. It's just gone 10 past 6. Is it 10 past 6? 7 minutes past 6. On Sunday evening, the 31st of January. So we've got a January, February. We've got a 2020 and 2021, December, January. And then we got a January, February. Next one will be the February, March. That'll be the 3 that I'm going to do at the moment. Depending on what the weather's like at the end of March, I might do another one. March, April. But that's kind of like end of Lambic kind of season, really, then. Gives me an excuse to buy another barrel, though, doesn't it? So, yes. A nice rolling boil. Thank you very much. Back in a bit. Well, and back in about 4 or 5 hours, I should imagine. Have to do it from this angle so that I don't embarrass Delilah. Hour and a half in. That's all right. That's okay. And I have chopped the other 2 jugs in. Actually threw them in quite early. I think we're probably going to be okay for about 3 hours. Started at what, 6, 7, 8, 9, hour and a half. So let's just say, boom, there to there. We want it down to about here-ish, somewhere around here. So, good. And the smell in this place is stunning. Decided not gonna do the mash till today. Gonna clean it out tomorrow because it's bloody freezing outside. But you know, with these couple of boilers going here, we've got the copper at almost boiling point, and we've got the hot liquor tank at about 40, well 30, 37.1. I've turned it off so we can divert all the power. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't work that way, you know. But I don't need that on at the moment because we're going to do the big clean down tomorrow. So I've turned this off. Might as well save a few pennies. Yes. Oh, how beautiful is that? So probably sometime around 9 o'clock we'll be ready to go into as nicely cleaned out and polished Koelschip. Oh, yeah, big, beautiful thing, you. Oh, yes. $9.15 and we're down to 30. That's good enough. So, oh, turn that off. Now open this, open this. God, let's hope I've done all those. Yeah, I think all the cam locks are done up nicely. Now we're letting the air move its way out, which you can probably hear and see. Right. Oh. Give it a little helping hand. And oh, it's clearing that down quite quickly. Look, we have a Lambic-ish in the Koelschip. Happy with the way those legs look. Now I have capped off, even though there's a little stop valve, I've capped it off with a blanking plate on the end. Look at that. Maybe I should have opened the shutter. Definitely should have opened the shutter. And that now is about it. Well, that's all right. Oops. No great amount of kettle trub. Oh yes indeed. It's Monday the 1st of February, yes. So we have a January, February. Let's go and get it. We have in here, this is, because it's 1st of February, it's time now to change this star san. So I'm going to empty that star san out, and in there is a hose which I will attach onto there. I've taken the blanking plate off, I've put an elbow on there, and just a cam lock cover, So we'll get the don't know what to do with that old pump. We'll get the fermenter down there and start emptying. Oh, exciting times. Might open the shutter. Right, now what I haven't bought, obviously because I'm a muppet, is a screwdriver. That's better. In order to open the valve. Look! Look, boys and girls! We've got a lambic! Right, are we going to be clear of the shutter if I shut the shutter? Because it's bloody freezing out here. Crikey. Bloody now. Right, let's get this down. Just have to be careful, because if it does catch on there, I don't think it will. Oh, look at that. Cleared it beautifully. And I've put a filter in the hang on, let's pop all this up there. My keys away. I've got, I don't know if I can show you. Of course I can, it'll be here somewhere. There's a very good rule which I always ask people to follow, which is, when it comes to brewing gadgets and bits and bobs, subscribe to Norfolk Hillbilly. That's Clive Sillis. What he can't find, you won't want. Anyway, we have this lambic now. Might be a little bit over. What that fermenter can cope with. But oh, looking good. It's got a head on it already, look. Right, back when that's full. Not a great deal of headroom in there. Definitely not right on there, because that was saying 30, unless we've had evaporation. But we have now our second lambic in the fermenter. We will be something I've got to do with this first when it's charged up is to put my float hydrometer in there. But this little girl, who's about to get a good clean out, has performed exceptionally well. Really thick. It's not like little copper. This is pucker copper. Let's get that in the fermentation fridge and start us measurements going. We have the float hydrometer in there. We have a blow off bottle with some star san, and we have the original lambic here. Ho ho ho! Now I don't know whether it's just me or whether, I don't know. It's the light, isn't it? Light and different types of fermenter, but they look a bit different. Well, this one, number one, still bloody going. It's slowly, it's right slowy downy. It's 1029 at the moment, or it's 1028.5, 1.0285. And that's it. We have two lambics. And for now, boys and girls, crumbs. Ha! Seems like a bit of an epic video. I do apologise if it is just really, really boring. But if you like this sort of rubbish and you haven't already subscribed, please do consider doing so. and click the thumbs up likey button, because that would be beautiful. And if you click the little bell, it will remind you that I've posted more rubbish. And, and that, as they say, boys and girls, is that. You stay safe now. Cheers.